We all know what it feels stress, and we all know how to deal with it differently. That how much stress is too much. Your body will let you know when you're overstressed. Muscle tension, sweaty palms, or difficulty sleeping. You might feel worried, fearful, fatigued, irritable, or have a hard time concentrating. This can be signs of stress, but the consequences are much larger, both on your life and those who are around you. The solution is to make your stress under control with stress management skills.
I want to make one thing clear. The quality of your life is the quality of where you live emotionally. We all have a home. Angry people find a way to get angry, even if their life doesn't have anything to be angry about. We can always find it. Sad people find a way to be sad. Caring people find a way to care for other people. So one thing to identify is, where are you living? What's your home? What's your habit?
Now, stress is a normal and natural part of human life. In fact, they say that a positive mental attitude is simply a positive reaction or response to stress. You can't avoid stress. There's stress in driving through traffic. There's stress in getting going when you're behind schedule. There's stress when you're working on a big project or even a small project. But what you can do is learn how to manage it so you can move forward and lead a productive, happy life.
Good day. We are going to discuss the most common feeling that the most people are experiencing right now and on how to handle this feeling. So we, the Group 6, are looking forward for your time, attention, and cooperation for the success of this discussion. Maybe some of us today are experiencing this common feeling. So with this discussion, we can help you not just today, but also for the upcoming years on how to handle this feeling. So to start with, let me, guys, ask you a simple yet very impactful question. How are you guys doing? Kaya pa ba ang engineering, guys? If your reaction is a smile, confident and relaxed, then I could say you are doing great. But how about others? Have they responded just like the girl in the next slide? Feeling unhappy, feeling tired, feeling hopeless, feeling upset. If you have that feeling right now, I could say you have stress. You are feeling stressed. Stress is a very simple and most common feeling, but at the same time it could lead up into a serious problem it could not handle well. So stress is the one of the most common feeling that most of the people are experiencing right now due to some circumstances like the school, work, financial status, internet connection, and many more. So, how to manage stress? So we can discuss that in this discussion. So stress management. So here are some of the steps that can help you manage your stress. So change how you see the situation. So always think out of the box. Always stay positive. Always see the situation positively. That would help you lessen the stress you are feeling in a certain situation. Reframe your thoughts. Set your priorities. Food and diet. Take control. Avoid extremes. Figure out what's most important. Set realistic goals. Exercise. Family and friends. Sleep. Relaxation techniques. So that are some of the ways on how you can manage your stress. So managing stress or stress management consists of making changes through your life if you are in a constant stressful situation. Preventing stress by practicing self-care and relaxation, and managing your response to stressful situation when they do occur. So the main goal of this management is to prevent us from getting more serious problem caused by stress, and also it would help us to stay calm and to enjoy and have a happy day-to-day living. So first, we need to talk about the problem here. So in every situation, we can or in every problem, we can just solve that problem if we know the problem. So what is the problem here? So the problem here is the stress. So we should know what is stress. So stress is your body's way of responding to any kind of demand or threat. When you sense danger, whether it's real or imagined, the body's defense kick into high gear in a rapid, automatic process known as the fight or flight reaction or the stress response. So, stress is a triggers a biological response in the body, in which the chemical and hormones surge in the body during the feeling of stress. So stress is we can feel stress almost every day, but that stress is a short term stress. So what is this short term stress? So just like our ancestors hundred of years ago, they always feel stress, and when they do feel stress, the chemical and hormones in their body surges through their body that enable them to be energized for a short period of time, and to be to feel more powerful in a just short period of time. But if you feel stress for a long period of time, it is a dangerous thing. So the most dangerous thing about stress is how easily it can creep up on you. You can get used to it. It starts to feel familiar, even normal. You don't notice how much it's affecting you, even as it takes a heavy toll. That's why it's important to be aware of the common warning signs and symptoms of stress overload. So, as I say a while ago, stress, we can experience stress almost every day, but that stress is a short-term stress. Short-term stress became the weapon of our ancestors long time ago. Being stressed helped them gain more energy and more power for a short period of time, leaving our body without negative effect. But on the other hand, the long-term stress or the constant stress have a negative effect on our body. It can cause up into a more serious problems in our body. So it is important for us to know the warning signs and symptoms of this stress overload, so that we can be aware of it. So health problems caused or exacerbated by stress includes depression and anxiety. So depression is the feeling of hopelessness, loss of interest, and thought of self-harm, while the anxiety is a persistent worry or fear. So you can experience it both on a different or on a separate situation, but it always comes up together. Just for example, if you are feeling depressed, that can make us worry. And if we are worrying, it can make us depressed. So, even though we are experiencing it separately, the two are always coming up together. So, second is the pain in any kind. So, a number of studies have indicated that, that stress can constrict the muscles and nerves, causing physical pain. So, if the body are constantly undergoing a physical discomfort, the body continues sending a message to the brain to urgently resolve the problem. And as we are stressed, the body is continually sending the brain due to its physical discomfort, and that message, the brain becomes overworked, and that would lead up into a headache. So the most common pain that we are experiencing during our stress moment is the headache and the physical pain in different parts of our body. So third is the sleep problems. Number 3 is the sleep problems. So stressful times and events cause temporarily insomnia, and long-term stress can cause chronic insomnia. So insomnia is the problem in falling asleep, in keeping you asleep, and problem in waking up early, and hard to fall back asleep again. So fourth is the autoimmune disease. So autoimmune disease is caused by the low activity and overactivity of immune system, causes the body to attack and damage its own tissues. So during stress, our body is continually causing an overactivity in our immune system, which lead up or which causing our body to attack and damage its own tissues. So the example of this autoimmune disease caused by the stress is the rheumatoid arthritis. Number 5 is the digestive problems. So stress can cause gastrointestinal problems, including cramping, bloating, inflammation, and loss of appetite. So that are the some of the digestive problems caused by the stress. Number 6 is the skin conditions such as eczema. So during stress, stress causes a spike in hormone cortisol. So as this hormone produce higher, the amount when the amount of cortisol level in our body increases, it makes our skin to become abnormally oily, and when this became abnormally oily, it can cause up a disease called eczema. So number 7 is the heart disease. So heart disease, during stress, our body could have a high blood pressure. This high blood pressure can pose a heart attack or a stroke. So stress can trigger the high blood pressure, leading up in some more dangerous problems such as the heart attack and the stroke. Number 8 is the weight problem. So during stress, the amount of cortisol hormone in our body increases. As this increases, the amount of insulin also increases. when the amount of insulin level in our body increase, it makes us to crave with sweets and fatty foods. So it is often for us to see someone who is overeating during his or her stressful times. It is because it is due to her high amount of insulin level in her body, on his body. And also, it can we can observe some have lost their weight due to the fact of loss of appetite caused by the gastrointestinal problem, which is also caused by this stress. 9 is the reproductive issues. So during stress shut down the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. This hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis is responsible for our reproductive activity or reproductive system. So when stress shut this down, we can experience the loss of sex drive in our body. So that is one of the reproductive issues that would come up during stress. Number 10 is the thinking and memory problems. So during stress, it is more difficult to time creating a short-term memory. This short-term memory is turning into a long-term memory, causing for us to learn harder. So for short, during stress, it is hard for us to learn. It is hard for us to sink in an information, an specific information. So next is the symptoms. So in cognitive, the symptoms of being overstressed is the memory problems, inability to concentrate, poor judgment, seeing only the negative, anxious or racing thoughts, constant worrying. And on the emotional symptoms of symptoms that you are over stress is the depression or generally unhappiness, anxiety and agitation, moodiness, irritability or anger, feeling overwhelmed, loneliness and isolation, and other mental and emotional health problems. So next symptoms is the physical symptoms, includes aches and pains, diarrhea or constipation, nausea and dizziness, chest pain or the rapid heartache, loss of sex drive, and frequent colds or flu. Behavioral symptoms includes eating more or less, sleeping too much or too little, withdrawing from others, procrastinating or neglecting responsibilities, using alcohol, cigarettes or drugs to relax, nervous habits such as nail biting and pacing. So, what is the causes of stress? So, the situation and pressures that cause stress are known as stressors. So, anything that can cause you stress is called stressors. We usually think of stressors as being negative, such as an exhausting work schedules or a rocky relationship. However, anything that puts high demand on you can be stressful. So in short, stressors cannot be only found in a negative event or negative happening. It can also be up into a positive ones. It includes positive events such as the getting married, buying a house, going to a college, or receiving a promotion. So even though it is a positive event, it can cause it can also cause us a stress. For example, during marriage, you are stressed to have a successful wedding. You are stressed to have a nice wedding. During college, you are stressed a lot of about a lot of things. So stress comes up in a different forms. It may be in a negative events such as those accidents, emergencies, and other negative events. It also came to a positive events such as the promotions, wedding, or other positive events that can cause for us to have a stressful day. Of course, not all stress is caused by external factors. The stress can also be internal or self-generated. When you worry excessively about something that may or may not happen, or have irrational, pessimistic thoughts about life. So, stressors can also be in form of internal factors, such as you are over worrying of something that might be happening or might not be happen. So, thinking about what will happen tomorrow or for the next day will be internal factor to cause you a stress. So how to deal with it? So it is the most important among all. Stress lead up to different problems. It lead up also into death, causing a lot of people to commit suicide because they cannot handle stress properly. So with this, we have few steps that prepared for you to enable to handle stress properly. So mentally and physically healthy. To be mentally and physically healthy, these are the steps. The exercise, reducing the intake of alcohol and drugs and caffeine, nutrition, acknowledging the signs, priority management, time, talking and breathing, and relaxation. So, to discuss it deeper, exercise. So, according to the studies found that exercise can reduce memory impairments in subjects with stress. Although studies on human are necessary to confirm this. Also, during exercise, if you are doing exercise, the endorphin inside our body is also pumping up. So this endorphin deals with stress and reduces the feeling of pain. So next is the reducing the intake of alcohol, drugs, and caffeine. These substances will not help prevent stress and they can make it worse. So these the alcohol, the drugs, and caffeine have some substances in them that can elevate the cortisol level. So we all know that this cortisol level is the stress hormone. So as the cortisol level goes up, our stress is getting worse. So third is the nutrition. A helpful balanced diet containing plenty of fruits and vegetables can help maintain the immune system at times of stress. Poor diet can lead to ill health and additional stress. So there are foods that is very helpful for us in times of stressful days. There are, we call the comfort foods that we used to eat when we are being stressed, and we have the foods that can boost the level of serotonin inside our body, and other foods can cut the level of cortisol and adrenaline inside our body that reduces that would help us to feel that our stress is reduced. And also, a good nutrition would help up a good circulation in our body, a calm mind, and a boostful immune system. So, third is the priority management. It may help you spend little time organizing a daily to-do list and focusing on urgent on time-sensitive tasks. People can then focus on what they have completed or accomplished for a day rather than on the tasks they have yet to complete. So priority management, we should work our load one at a time. We should see it as we should see the accomplished one, not the things we have to do, because the things we have to do will never be hindi matapos-tapos yung mga dapat nating gawin. So we should focus on what we have done. So we should consider the priorityness or the prioritized things that we should do these days. So next is the time. So people should set aside some time to organize their schedules, relax, and pursue their own interests. So this is one of the most vital things that we should accomplish during our stressful times. We should have this time management in which we should have the time on our workloads, and we should have our time to relax for us to lessen the stress inside our body. So breathing and relaxation. So meditation, massage, and yoga can help. Breathing and relaxation techniques can slow down the heart rate and promote relaxation. Deep breathing is also a central part of mindful meditation. So breathing and relaxation comes together. So as you are breathing deep, you are being relaxed. And also, when you breathe deeply, it sends message to the brain to calm down. So that was very helpful in times of stressful times. Third is talking. Sharing feelings and concerns with family, friends, and work colleagues may help a person let off steam and reduce the feeling of isolation. Other people may be able to suggest unexpectedly workable solutions to the stressor. So, talking to someone boosts our self-confidence that we are confident that we can deal with the stressors that we are encountering right now. It also let us feel that we are not alone, to see the situation clearly and to look the problem in a different way. It also can help us sort the problem. So talking with someone you love is one of things that could help you relieve your stress. So acknowledging the signs, a person can be so anxious about the problem causing the stress that they do not notice the effects on their body. It is important to be mindful of any changes. So, during the day-to-day work, we are very stressful about our work to do. So we are missing the point that we are having these bad effects on our body. So it is very important for us to acknowledge the signs that we are being overstressed. With this, we can manage the stress before it goes out of control. So the next report is this stress management techniques. So let us hear the next reporter. So again, we would like to ask again your time, coordination, and cooperation for a deeper discussion.
Stress management techniques include relaxation technique, time management skills, counseling or group therapy, exercise, and maintaining an overall healthy lifestyle. And stress management can help by first removing or changing the source of stress. So you need to figure out what's causing your stress symptoms. So maybe you are just extended or you feel fatigued and irritable. And once you identify the source of stress, then try to remove it or minimize those as much as possible. Next, altering how a person views a stressful event. So there are many instances that we see situation as very stressful. We often notice our minds begin to wander the thoughts of the day, worries and fears. So instead of getting lost, we must know that stress can be counterproductive. Research by Stanford psychologists shows that our stress mindset determines our biological response to stress. When we believe stress to be good for us, our body actually releases hormones that enable us to face our challenges and grow as a result. Then, lowering the effects the stress might have on the body. Often, there's an underlying fear of incompetence that leads to stressful reaction to stress. When we believe that we won't be able to cope with the situation, we debilitate ourselves with worry. The way out is to think of past experiences when we've risen to challenges or to think of others who have done so in similar situations. This helps build self-efficacy and gives us hope that we can do the same. It's also important to notice if we're catastrophizing about what we can potentially happen, thus blowing the situation out of proportion. Lastly, learning alternative ways of coping. So many of us are facing challenges that can be stressful, overwhelming, and cause strong emotions. So if your primary methods doesn't work anymore, so there are actually several other methods we can use to relax or reduce stress. You can make time to unwind, talk and connect with others, meditate, take breaks, and many more. People usually develop their stress management techniques by using self-help books or online resources. But when stress really interrupts your life, causing sleep problems or making you feel anxious and out of control, talk with your primary healthcare professionals. They might recommend a professional therapist who can offer support and give you some practical lifestyle tips on how to manage stress without letting it take over your life. So identify the sources of stress in your life. Stress management starts with identifying the source of stress in your life. This isn't as straightforward as it sounds. While it's easy to identify major stressors such as changing jobs, moving, or going through a divorce, pinpointing the source of chronic stress can be more complicated. It's all too easy to overlook how your own thoughts, feelings, and behavior contribute to your everyday stress levels. So there are actually two types of stress. So the acute stress and long-term or chronic stress. Acute stress are short-term. They won't last longer and may actually benefit your health in some ways, while chronic stress can be dangerous to our health if we don't work to overcome it. So to identify the true source of our stress, we must look closely at our habits, attitudes, and excuses. Also, it is best to ask yourself, what caused your stress? And if you're unsure, try to make a guess. Ask also how you felt both physically and emotionally. So next is to practice the 4 A's of stress management. So while stress is an automatic response from your nervous system, some stressors arise at predictable times. Your commute to work, a meeting with your boss, or family gatherings, for example. And when handling such predictable stressors, you can either change the situation or change your reaction. When deciding which option to choose in any given scenario, it's helpful to think of the four A's: the avoid, alter, adapt, or accept. So first is avoid unnecessary stress. While stress is a natural part of being human, many common stressors are not worth our physical and mental energy. It is not actually healthy to avoid a stressful situation that needs to be addressed, but you may be surprised by the number of stressors in your life that you can eliminate. Learn how to say no. Know your limits and stick to them. Whether in your personal or professional life, taking on more than you can handle is a surefire recipe for stress. So always remember not to be a people pleaser. Remind yourself that you can please everyone and always say yes to them. Saying no not just help you establish healthy boundaries but also reduce the stress and the burden of always being put upon. Next, avoid people who stress you out. If someone consistently causes stress in your life, limit the amount of time you spend with that person or end the relationship. So, in the bustle of daily life, we cross paths with so many personalities, traits, and behaviors. It's likely that we'll come across someone who becomes a source of external stress. This can be anyone from a family member to an overbearing friend. Dealing with stressful or toxic people needs conscious effort. Whether their actions are frustrating, cruel, or simply negative, the best approach to working with stressful people is to be proactive. Learn how to manage them or simply cut connections with them. Then take control of your environment. Our environment has the power to impact everything we do. The environment we place ourselves in constantly triggers various behavior. What those behaviors are depends on what the trigger is. So, if the evening news make you anxious, then turn off the TV. If traffic makes you tense, then take a longer but less traveled route. And if going to the market is an unpleasant chore, do your grocery shopping online. Then pare down your to-do list. When it comes to stress reduction, decluttering your list gives you much needed breathing space, and you don't have to lose track of things when you pare down your list. Prioritizing items on your to-do list will help you recognize and highlight what's more important at any given time. And if you've got too much on your plate, drop tasks that aren't truly necessary to the bottom of the list or eliminate them entirely. Another A is alter the situation. One of the most helpful things you can do during times of stress is to take inventory, then attempt to change or alter your situation. This would involve changing the way you communicate and operate in your daily life. So express your feelings instead of bottling them up. If something or someone is bothering you, be more assertive and communicate your concern in an open and respectful way. If you've got an exam to study for and your chatty roommate just got home, tell her or him that you only have 5 minutes to talk, or instead of listening over a colleague's non-stop chatter or messages, politely let them know that you're busy and will get back to them later. Or say, I have breaks for 5 minutes. How can I help you? If you don't talk or voice your feelings, resentment will build and the stress will increase. Next is be willing to compromise. So respectfully ask others to change their behavior and be willing to do the same. Small problems often create larger ones if they aren't resolved. If you're tired of being the target of a friend's jokes at parties, ask him or her to leave you out of the comedy routine. In return, Be willing to enjoy his or her other jokes and thank him or her for humoring you. Focus on addressing the behavior or issue that bothers you and avoid attacking the person. Next is create a balanced schedule. All work and no play is a recipe for burnout. Try to find a balance between work and family life, social activities and solitary pursuit, daily responsibilities and downtime. So in short, manage your time better and lump together similar tasks. The reward of increased efficiency will be extra time. So another A is adapt to the stressor. If you can change the stressor, change yourself. You can adapt to stressful situation and regain your sense of control by changing your expectations and attitude. So first, reframe problems. Reframing is seeing the current situation from a different perspective or looking from a new viewpoint, which can be tremendously helpful in solving problems, making decisions, and learning. This helps shift one's perspective to be more empowered to act. Like, for example, rather than fuming about traffic jam, look at it as an opportunity to pause and regroup and listen to your favorite radio stations. Or instead of feeling frustrated that you're home with a sick child, look at it as an opportunity to bond, relax, or finish a laundry. Then look at the big picture. When you take the time to look at the big picture, it can cause a shift in perspective, modify your judgment, and ultimately change your focus and activity, either as an individual, team, or entire organization. Getting a big picture perspective tends to reinforce the things that are important and subsequently refocus your attention on what you determine to be true priorities. Next is adjust your standards. Perfectionism is a major source of avoidable stress. Stop setting yourself up for failure by demanding perfection. Set reasonable standard for yourself and others and learn to be okay with good enough. Like, for example, do you need to vacuum and dust twice a week? Would macaroni and cheese be an unthinkable substitute for homemade lasagna? Redefine success and stop striving for perfection, and you may operate with a little less guilt and frustration. For many tasks and chores, good enough is usually fine. The next, practice gratitude. When stress is getting you down, take a moment to reflect on all the things you appreciate in your life, including your own positive qualities and gifts. The benefits of practicing gratitude are nearly endless. People who regularly practice gratitude by taking the time to notice and reflect upon the things they're thankful for experience more positive emotion, feel more alive, sleep better, express more compassion and kindness, and even have stronger immune systems. The last A is accept the things you can't change. So some sources of stress are unavoidable. You can prevent or change stressors such as the death of a loved one, a serious illness, or a national recession. In such cases, the best way to cope with stress is to accept things as they are. So there are really instances or situations that would leave us no other choice. At yung usually na tanging desisyon na lang na natira is yung you just accept it and embrace the reality. And acceptance may be difficult, but in the long run, it's easier than railing against a situation you can change. So don't try to control the uncontrollable. Having control means that you can change things with your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It means that you have power over them and you can change their course at will. All of us love to control the world around us, but the truth is, there is very few things we can control. Many things in life are beyond our control. And at the theoretical level, this is nothing new and we're pretty aware of it. But at the emotional level, we tend to forget it very easily, which can make us upset. So in general, we tolerate uncertainty and frustrations pretty poorly when our expectations aren't fulfilled the way we wanted them to be. It is quite unpleasant when this happens, just as it sometimes is when we don't know what's going to happen in a given situations. So rather than stressing out over them, we should focus on the things we can control instead, or we can look at reality from many different angles, try to be more flexible, and try to care a little bit less. Next is look for the upside. So when facing major challenges, try to look at them as opportunities for personal growth. Or we can practice positive self-talk. It's easy to lose objectively when you're stressed. One negative thought can lead to another, and soon you've created a mental avalanche. Be positive. Instead of thinking, like for example, I am horrible with money and I will never be able to control my finances. Try to think, I made a mistake with my money, but I'm resilient. I'll get through it. By thinking that way, it would reduce our worries and stress. So next is learn to forgive. Accept the fact that we live in an imperfect world and that people make mistakes. Let go of anger and resentments. Free yourself from negative energy by forgiving and moving on. So lahat naman tayo, 'di ba, nagkakasala. Wala naman taong perfecto. And also even God forgives us. So tayo pa kaya na tao lang. And also it takes energy to be angry. Forgiving may take practice, but by doing so, you will free yourself from burning more negative energy. So lastly, share your feelings. Expressing what you're going through can be very cathartic, even if there's nothing you can do to alter the stressful situations. So talk with someone. You may not be able to change a frustrating situation, but that doesn't mean your feelings aren't legitimate. Phone or schedule a coffee break with an understanding friend. You may feel better after taking it out.
So the next one that you can do to manage your stress is get moving. So when you're stressed, the last thing you probably feel like doing is getting up and exercising. But physical activity is a huge stress reliever, and you don't have to be an athlete or spend hours in a gym to experience the benefits. Exercise releases endorphins that makes you feel good, and it can also serve as valuable distraction from your daily worries. So get moving. So if stress ka, parang wala kang ganang gumalaw, 'di ba? Pero mainam pong gawin na mag-exercise or lumabas para igalaw yung katawan kasi malaking tulong ito para mapagaan mo yung pakiramdam mo at makalimutan mo kahit saglit yung mga problema na dinadala mo at mapakalma mo yung katawan mo. So the next one you can do is connect to others. There is nothing more calming than spending quality time with another human being who makes you feel safe and understood. In fact, face-to-face interaction triggers a cascade of hormones that counteracts the body defensive fight or fight response. It's nature's natural stress reliever. So make it a point to connect regularly in a person with family or friends. So kapag stress ka, mas mabuti na makipag-usap ka sa iba, halimbawa sa pamilya mo, sa friends mo, or special someone na ma-feel mo na comfortable ka, yung taong masasabihan mo ng mga problema at makapagbibigay sa'yo ng payo. Dahil ito ay isang malaking tulong para mabawasan mo yung stress na nadarama mo. Pakipag-usap mo sa isang taong malapit sa iyo ay malaking tulong upang gumaan ang iyong pakiramdam at matulungan ka sa stress na hinaharap mo.
So the next one is make time for fun and relaxation. So beyond a take charge approach and positive attitude, you can reduce stress in your life by carving out me time. Don't so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life that you forget to take care of your own needs. Nurturing yourself is a necessity, not a luxury. If you regularly make time for fun and relaxation, you'll be in a better place to handle life stressors. So, pwede kang gumawa or mag-sked ng me time mo, pwede kang lumabas mag-isa para mag-beauty rest, ganon, or gumala ka, kumain sa labas yung mag-isa para mabawasan rin yung stress mo. So, pwede rin set aside leisure time, include the rest and relaxation in your daily schedule. Don't allow other obligation to enroach. This is your time to take a break from all responsibilities and recharge your batteries. So, pwede kang sa daily schedule mo mag-assign ka ng oras or maglaan ka ng oras para makapagpahinga ka. Di lahat ng oras, hindi yung lahat ng oras na magtrabaho ka lang, dapat magpahinga ka rin para mabawasan mo yung stress or hindi lalong bumigat yung dinadala mo. So, next one is do something you enjoy every day. Make time for leisure activities that brings you joy, whether it's stargazing, playing the piano, or working on your bike. So, pwede kang gumawa ng mga bagay na makapagpapasaya sa'yo araw-araw. Pwede kang magbike, maglaro sa labas, or mag-guitar, piano, or ano ba makapagpapasaya sa'yo para mapagaan mo yung loob mo mag-isa. So, keep your sense of humor. So, this includes the ability to laugh yourself. The act of laughing helps your body fight stress in a number of ways. So, matuto kang tumawa mag-isa mo, hindi laging nakadepende ka sa iba. Dapat matuto kang tumawa mag-isa, gumawa ka ng mga bagay-bagay na makapapasaya sa'yo. Ganon. Next one, take up a relaxation practice. So, relaxation techniques such as yoga, meditation, and deep breathing active the body's relaxation response, a state of restfulness that is opposite of the fight or flight mobilization stress response. As you learn and practice these techniques, your stress levels will decrease, your mind and body will become calm. So pwede kang mag-yoga, meditation para mapakalma mo yung katawan mo, para yung isip mo mapakalma mo rin at mabawasan yung stress mo. So, yun po.
Management of time doesn't really exist. What we mean by this is that time simply passes. You can stop it, change it, or make it bend depending on your wishes. What you actually have to do when managing your time is actually manage yourself and the way you approach everything you do. Time management is the process of organizing and planning how to divide your time between specific activities. Good time management enables you to work smarter, not harder, so that you get more done in less time, even when time is tight and pressures are high. Poor time management can cause a lot of stress. When you're stretched too thin and running behind, it's hard to stay calm and focused. Plus, you'll be tempted to avoid or cut back on all the healthy things you should be doing to keep stress in check, like socializing and getting enough sleep. The good news is that there are things you can do to achieve a healthier work-life balance. The first one is that don't overcommit yourself. Avoid scheduling things back-to-back or trying to fit too much into one day. All too often, we underestimate how long things will take. Don't be afraid to set your other work in another day. You hold your own time, and remember that don't be afraid to rest sometimes. I will give you tips to avoid overcommitting to yourself. First, you must examine the task if you could do it for one day. If not, there's another day to finish it. Next, be mindful with your time. Ask yourself what you want on your schedule, that what really deserves your time. What is going to give you energy rather than that drains you, if something is potentially going to take away things that are important to you. The next thing you should do to achieve healthier work-life balance is to make a prioritized task. You should know how to make a list of tasks you have to do and tackle them in order of importance. Do the high priority task first. If you have something particularly unpleasant or stressful to do, get it over with early. The rest of your day will be more pleasant as a result. List your tasks in terms of importance. Before you begin your workload for the day, prioritize it first. To-do lists are a great tool, but organize them a little rather than just writing down everything that needs to get done. Before making your list, write down categories in terms of important. For example, tasks labeled urgent must be done today. Tasks labeled important but not urgent are important to do but can wait. Tasks with labels like low priority can be put off if necessary. List tasks under each category. For example, if you need to finish a report for work, that would be an urgent task. If you need to begin another work project but the deadline is not for another 2 weeks, that would be an important but not urgent task. If you would like to go for a run after work but it's not vital, that would be a low priority task. Break projects into small steps. If a large project seems overwhelming, make a step-by-step plan. Focus on one manageable steps at a time, rather than taking on everything at once. Break the task down into small manageable pieces, whereby a big project may seem overwhelming and will probably cause you to procrastinate. Splitting it into smaller steps can calm you down, make it seem less intimidating, and for more manageable, and will motivate you to get started. Plus, once we actually get started, our impression of the task often changes for the better. It seems less difficult and less stressful than we had originally anticipated. The next steps on how to achieve a healthier work-life balance is to have a delegate responsibility. You don't have to do it all yourself, whether at home, school, or on the job. If other people can take care of the task, why not let them? Let go of the desire to control or oversee everything little step. You will be letting go of unnecessary stress in the process. Your goal is to do more in less time, right? Because you can expand time or get more work in a day. You can achieve this by either getting more efficient on how you can use your time you already have, and we'll cover this in detail later on, or delegate. Delegating means letting someone else take the lead on responsibilities and trusting the outcome if the desired one, depending on the kind of responsibilities you're dealing with. You can delegate small tasks like scheduling yourself for a day. The next steps on managing stress is to maintain balance with a healthy lifestyle. In addition to regular exercise, there are other healthy lifestyle choices that can increase your resistance to stress. First one is to eat a healthy diet. Well-nourished bodies are better prepared to cope with stress, so be mindful of what you eat. Start your day right with breakfast and keep your energy up and your mind clear with balanced, nutritious meals throughout the day. Healthy eating is all about balance. You can enjoy your favorite food even if they are high in calories, fat, or added sugars. The key is eating them only once in a while and balancing them out with a healthier food and more physical activity. Some general tips for comfort food is to eat them less often. Reduce caffeine and sugar. The temporary highs caffeine and sugar provide often and with a crash in mood and energy. By reducing the amount of coffee, soft drinks, chocolate, and sugar snacks in your diet, you'll feel more relaxed and you'll sleep better. It's a big help to the person experiencing stress to reduce caffeine and sugar intake. Next is avoid alcohol, cigarettes, and drugs. Self-medicating with alcohol or drugs may provide an easy escape from stress, but the relief is only temporary. Don't avoid or mask the issue at hand. Deal with problems head-on and with a clear mind. Taking alcohol and drugs make your problem into problems. It will not help you, but rather it will make the problem worse. Next is get enough sleep. Adequate sleep fuels your mind as well as your body. Feeling tired will increase your stress because it may cause you to think irrationally. If you feel tired, don't push yourself too hard. You need to rest, to sleep. If you want to finish the task as soon as possible, you need to have a right time of sleep so that you have energy to finish it. Sleep is the best therapy for stress. And the last tips to manage stress is to learn to relieve stress in the moment. When you're frazzled by your morning commute, stuck in a stressful meeting at work, or fried from another argument with your spouse, you need a way to manage your stress levels right now. That's where quick stress relief comes in. To sum it all, the fastest way to reduce stress is by taking a deep breath and using your senses, what you see, hear, taste, and touch, or through soothing movement. By viewing a favorite photo, smelling a specific scent, listening to a favorite piece of music, tasting a piece of gum, or hugging a pet, for example, you can quickly relax and focus yourself. If you feel and experience those symptoms that have discussed earlier, you need to have a better plan in dealing the stress. If you cannot do it by yourself, try to ask help from professionals so that they could help you. Talk to your friends. Don't afraid to unwind if you need so. Always remember that all is well. You can do it. We can do it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you have learned something in our report. Adios, guys.
Good day, I am Franz Mario Tabieres, second year student of Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, Section C.
Good day, everyone. I am Aileen H. Gonzalo, your classmate.
So hi guys, I'm Gabriel Antonio T. Pamat, a second year student from Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, Section C.
Hi guys, this is Christian Paul Liza, a second year student from Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, Section C.